accidentally knocked over my water glass, but Rebecca just laughed and helped me clean it. That's when I knew she was special throughout high school. I tried to make every moment with Rebecca memorable for her 17th birthday. I surprised her with a scavenger hunt around town, leaving clues at all her favorite spots. The final clue led her to our local park, where I had set up a picnic with all her favorite foods. I'll never forget how her eyes lit up when she saw it. When we went to different colleges, I was determined to make our long-distance relationship work every weekend. I'd make the 3-hour drive to visit her, no matter how much schoolwork I had. I'd bring her care packages during exam weeks, filled with her favorite snacks, stress relief items, and handwritten notes of encouragement. After college, when we both moved back to our hometown, I worked extra shifts at my job to save up for a dream vacation for us. I surprised Rebecca with a 2E trip to Europe, something she'd always wanted to do. We visited Paris, Rome. In London and Paris, I arranged a private boat tour on the Sun River at sunset. I can still picture how beautiful she looked with the Eiffel Tower glittering behind her. When Rebecca mentioned she wanted to go back to school for her master's degree, I supported her completely. I took on a second job to help with her tuition and living expenses. I'd stay up late with her, quizzing her for exams and proofreading her papers, even when I had to be up early for work the next day. For our 10th anniversary, I planned a recreation of our first date. I reserved the same table at the same restaurant, wore a similar outfit, and even arranged with the waiter to accidentally spill my water. Rebecca laughed so hard, saying it was perfect. After dinner, I took her to the beach where we had our first kiss and proposed under the stars. Looking back now, it's painful to think about all these memories. I put my heart and soul into our relationship, truly believing we were building a life together. It makes the betrayal sting even more, knowing how much I loved her and how easily she seemed to throw it all away. A few days before our wedding, Rebecca came to me with shocking news. She told me she was pregnant, but the baby wasn't mine. She had been cheating on me with my younger brother, William, for a long time. She had done the math and was certain the baby was his. I was devastated and furious. But what hurt even more was when Rebecca told me she had developed feelings for William and wanted to marry him instead of me. It felt like my whole world was crumbling around me. In my anger and pain, I went to my parents and told them everything. I expected them to be as shocked and upset as I was, but to my surprise, they seemed oddly calm about the whole situation. My parents had always treated William as their golden child, but I never expected this level of betrayal. They told me I should be happy for my brother. My mother was even excited about becoming a grandmother, completely disregarding how I might feel about the situation. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It felt like my entire family had turned against me in an instant. The people who were supposed to love me and support me were telling me to just accept this massive betrayal and act like everything was fine. Unable to cope with the betrayal from not just Rebecca and William, but my parents as well, I made the difficult decision to leave. I packed my bags, moved to a different city, and cut off contact with all of them. That was 6 years ago, and all that time my father called me a few times, but those conversations were always strained and uncomfortable. My mother, William, and Rebecca never reached out to me at all. I didn't even know the name of William's child, my own nephew. I tried to move on with my life as best I could. I focused on my career, made new friends, and even started dating again, though I found it hard to trust after what happened with Rebecca. Still, I was slowly building a new life for myself away from the pain and betrayal of my past. Then a few days ago, I got a call out of the blue from my mother. I was surprised to see her name on my phone screen. After all this time, when I answered, she sounded upset and told me that William had been in a terrible accident. He was now paralyzed and unable to work or take care of his family. I felt a mix of emotions hearing this news. Part of me was shocked and saddened to hear about William's accident. Despite everything that happened, he was still my brother. But another part of me couldn't help but feel angry that after 6 years of no contact, this was the reason. My mother was finally reaching out to me. What she said next made me even angrier. She told me that the family needed my help. Specifically, she wanted me to come back and step in as a father figure for William's child and help Rebecca take care of the family while William recovered. I was furious after everything that had happened. How could she possibly think this was an appropriate request? I told her absolutely not. I reminded her that Rebecca and William had betrayed me in the worst way possible and that she and my father had chosen to support them over me. I said I had no obligation to help them now, especially after years of no contact. My mother got upset and accused me of being selfish. She said family should always come first and that I needed to let go of the past. She tried to guilt me by saying William's child needed a father figure and that Rebecca was struggling to manage everything on her own. I stood my ground and refused again. I told her that William and Rebecca made their choice 6 years ago, and now they had to live with the consequences. I said it wasn't my responsibility to step in and play happy families just because things had gotten difficult for them. Before hanging up, I told my mother not to contact me again, unless it was to apologize for how they had treated me 6 years ago. I said I might be willing to have a relationship with them again if they acknowledge how much they had hurt me, but I would never step in as a replacement for William or a father figure for his child. After the call ended, I felt a mix of emotions. Part of me felt guilty for turning my back on my family when they needed help, but a larger part of me felt angry and hurt all over again. The wound that had started to heal was now ripped open, and all the pain and betrayal came flooding back. I've been struggling with this decision ever since the call. On one hand, I know that William's accident is not his child's fault, and I feel bad for the kid growing up without a fully present father. On the other hand, I don't think it's fair for my family to expect me to swoop in and fix everything after they betrayed me and then ignored me for years. Some of my friends think I'm justified in my decision. They say my family made their bed and now they have to lie in it. But others think I'm being too harsh and that I should at least consider helping for the sake of the child. I'm torn about what to do. Part of me wants to maintain the life I've built for myself, free from the drama and pain of my past. But another part wonders if I'm being too stubborn and if there's a way I could help without completely sacrificing my own well-being. So Reddit, am I correct in refusing to help my brother and his family after he stole my fiancée and got her pregnant? At it. Wow. Thank you all for your responses and perspectives. I want to address a few common points and provide some additional context to those asking about my dating life. Yes, I've dated since Rebecca, but I haven't had any serious long-term relationships. The betrayal definitely affected my ability to trust, and I've been working on that in therapy. Many have asked if I'm sure the child is William's. Honestly, I don't know for certain at the time. Rebecca said she was sure based on the timing, but I never saw any proof. Either way, she chose to leave me for William. So the paternity doesn't change much for me personally. To those saying I should at least visit William in the hospital, I'm considering this while I'm not ready to forgive him. I do want to know more about his condition and prognosis. A few comments mention the possibility of financial help without direct involvement. This is something I hadn't considered before and might be worth exploring for those curious about my father's calls. Over the years, they were mostly surface-level conversations. He never apologized or acknowledged the hurt caused, which is why the relationship remains strained. Some asked about other family members. I have a few cousins I'm still in touch with, but they live in different states and weren't closely involved in the situation. A common sentiment is that I don't owe them anything, but helping might bring me peace. I appreciate this perspective and will give it some thought. Thank you all again for your input. This situation is complex and emotionally charged, and reading your comments has given me a lot to think about. I'll update if there are any significant developments. Update. It's been a few weeks since my last post, and a lot has happened. I want to give you an update on